John Walsh. You know who John Walsh is?
No.
After I describe what he was, you will know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
America's Most Wanted host.
No.
What? The peppered hair, America's Most Wanted with slick back? Dude, America's Most Wanted. Anyways, okay.
Okay, yeah. I know who it is.
Got it. So, little bit of background. For any of you younger people watching, you know we got a major spike in a younger demographic watching us, which is awesome. That's incredible, you know. But for anybody that's younger, John Walsh is the host of America's Most Wanted, okay? And it was a semi-spooky, it's probably is one of the shows that started all the interest into true crime and true crime content creators. Like, absolutely incredible. Why did it start? It started because his son was abducted like 40 years ago. Yeah, and weeks, okay? I'm not focusing on him. I'm going to be focusing on his comments, but his story is important to this. So, weeks after his son went missing in a department store. Just, they were there together, and then he was gone, dude. And I think he was 6. I probably should have triple checked that. But he was young. Weeks later, they found, unfortunately, this is super sad. Weeks later, they found his head 120 miles from their house where he was abducted from. So clearly he didn't live. And, you know, I can't imagine being a parent going through something like that. But what him and his wife ended up doing is starting programs and systems to help find kids and criminals. And it slowly turned into essentially America's Most Wanted. And he ended up hosting the show. And what's insane is through all the years, essentially a decade of this show, okay, they caught 1,200 criminals because of this show, specifically because of this show. They caught 17 of the FBI's top 10 most wanted. That is there is not a single singular FBI agent out there that has ever had these kinds of stats. Not even half of them, not even close. So the public did that. The true crime community, the online and public sleuths did that. That was all public and him presenting the stories.
That is so incredible.
It is incredible. But, you know, it's nice to know that he kept fighting the good fight, but nothing like that's going to fill the loss that he had, you know, from losing his kid. So where I'm going with this. He was on an interview and he specifically talked about the Idaho 4 case, and he reached out, you know, not reached out to the parents to connect with them, but made a statement for them to hear. And, you know, he was just saying that the only thing that they need to focus on and that they can do is just worry about getting through the trial, because they are victims. They are victims like he was a victim. He said, just trust in the justice system. And regardless of the outcome, he believes that they will find justice. It is so vague. He wasn't suggesting that Kohberger could be innocent. He wasn't suggesting Kohberger could be guilty. He was suggesting trust the process. You know, you guys have a suspect, or it is a newer investigation. So just trust the process. Don't get caught up in all the noise that's going on. You know, he said that they just have to show up at the trial or be connected to it and pay attention so that they're aware of, if this next day they're going to show something that you will never be able to unsee, you know, be conscious of that and maybe don't be in there that day, or you know, make sure you step out before that evidence gets shown, something like that. But it was really interesting to see him, of all people, reach out to them in that way. And, you know, before this happened, I didn't realize that he did this because of his son. I knew he was attached to a crime or something in some way, a victim of a crime. I didn't realize that he had his son abducted from him and created this show to help, bring people to justice. What an incredible dude.
Yeah, it is incredible that he did all of this. And I mean, dude, 71 people?
17.
Oh,
Of
17.
the FBI's top 10 most wanted. The single most, more than any other
that was so dyslexic.
FBI agent out there.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible, regardless, because most wanted
FBI
is
top 10. That's like, dude, that is serious crime solving here. That's the FBI top 10. Think of how many suspects there are at any given time in the US, and they caught 17 of the top 10 just from calling in, from the public staying aware, giving information, digging, and helping solve these cases that he talked about on TV.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. It sounds like the reason he reached out was trying to give them some peace and serenity, because out of all the families, the most public are the Gonzalez family, and they seem to be struggling with the process of all of this. And they're publicly struggling. Like every interview they do, they have concerns. So he's probably just thinking about it from, like a well-being perspective for them.
I think it was very nice.
Yeah, trying to do something nice for them.
Look, and if any of the victims' families ever watched our show, one, I hope they understand the angle that we come from here, that regardless what we talk about, we're going to talk about it in a very respectful way, because yes, I 100% agree they're victims and I can't imagine what they're going through. So one thing that he has that all of us content creators, well, I can't say everybody, but most of the people that I know of don't have, is he can relate to them because he lost a kid. I think losing a kid is something that you can't pretend to imagine unless it happens to you. That puts you in a class or a group of people all on its own. You know what I mean? And for him to go out of his way to make a comment to him and a suggestion as they're going through pre-trial and going to be ramping up to the trial, which is going to get way more attention, I thought it was super nice. And it really made me think that he's such a good guy to have something so horrible happen and be like, this is out of my control, but I'm not going to lay over and just let the world have its way with me. I'm going to try and prevent this happening from other people to other people. You know what I mean? Which I thought was incredible. And I'm curious what you guys think about it. It made me look at him in a whole new light. And I hope that the victims' families really get something from that.
Yeah, I hope so too. Is his show still running?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. With these breaking news stories, they aren't case stories. So I don't dig into people's backgrounds. I don't dig into every detail. We essentially take politics out of the mainstream media and just briefly talk about them, of what's going on. So I think so.
Yeah, it appears to be. Now I want to watch the show now.
Yeah.
Cuz I don't know how much I've actually seen of it. I'm not sure.
Oh gosh, the intro little jingle song. Yeah, it used to scare me when I was like really young. It's been out forever, dude. And it's an awesome show though. It's good. Especially when I've always watched it, I never knew those metrics of success, and 1,200 of the nation's uncatchable criminals, 17 of the FBI's top 10 most wanted. Like that's insane, dude. And that is directly the public. That is us people who have an interest. It is you people who have an interest. It is, the public.
I mean, that's a really amazing thing to highlight considering how much flack we all get. You know? The whole true crime community, if you're a creator or somebody who does a lot of digging and cares about these cases and wants to talk about it, and you don't agree with the mainstream narrative or you ask too inquisitive of questions,
Yeah.
you get a lot of flack.
Yeah.
But I think there are lots of benefits to us doing that and very little negatives. So
I
that's
agree.
like really heartwarming, I guess. It's heartwarming and it's just nice to know. I had no idea about that.
Yes. Well, let us know what you guys think.
It's validating.